if you talk about, for example, when we talk about our school, when we talk about the theme our school, so what language functions are likely to occur in that particular theme, or in the contents of that particular theme? Maybe introducing. Try to choose the language functions to put in different themes on particular themes, right? We have tried to do that, and one theme may contain more than there is no one-to-one relation type of thing between theme and language function. So there may be 2 or 3 language functions in a particular theme, or in some cases there is only one language function introduced in a particular theme. This is the explanation of the theme. One example is given here. For example, fruits from grade 3. That pictures, describing pictures can be taught through these structures, and the activities can be like this, and we'll try to develop the soft skills like this in that particular theme. And the time spent, or the time to be spent for that particular theme. I was talking about earlier 10 different themes, 11 different themes: communicative competence, language functions, and language skills, soft skills, and there's a learning outcome wise format for the assessment purpose, and there are some sample activities given for assessing the students' learning, etc. So these are what we have listed as the features of the current English curriculum. Let's move on to the next. These are the workbooks. Okay. And we have these materials workbooks, not textbook. So the current workbook, can be used both as workbook and both as textbook. So we have a merged type of thing. Textbook gives what knowledge that's there in our English books, and workbook gives the knowledge given there. So these documents are workbooks cum textbook. Although they are called workbook by name, they do the function of both workbook and textbook. We have followed this order in developing the workbook. Can you complete it by yourself? And this is the order we have followed in our workbook, right? That's what I'm saying. If you look at the workbook grade 1 structure, this is the basic course. So I'm highlighting here the grade 1 workbook. We'll talk about grade 2 and 3 workbook as well. There are altogether 108 lessons in grade 1, 108 lessons. So lesson 1 and 14 is the foundation. Lesson 15 to 72 is the decoding phase, and lesson 73 onwards is post decoding phase. When we talk about grade 1, once the students come to our school, or once the students get admission to the schools, they have that's what we have assumed while developing the workbook. That's what CDC has assumed, developing those materials assumed. So lesson 114 is the foundation stage. during which the teachers are expected to do pre-activities only, right? You are not going to ask them to write the alphabets. You are not going to ask them to read a particular reading text or a particular sentence, or you are not going to ask them to say the meaning of particular words, right? They will listen to some very simple expressions like greeting, hello, good morning, my name is Ram Karki. What's your name? I am 5 years old. How old are you? Very simple expressions so that the students get exposure to English, exposure to very simple English, and the students start doing some pre-reading, pre-writing activities. They will draw the lines, they will draw the circles, okay? They will according to their intent 1 and 14. What generally happens is whenever we start teaching, whenever we enter the class, we find some people starting directly from reading and writing, right? This is not only good, this is perfectly wrong idea, right? uh, and this should be kept in mind while delivering the lesson, right? That's what we have highlighted there in from lesson 1 and 14. If you talk about lesson 15 to 72, that's focused on decoding. Can you please read this sentence? Hello, can you show the pointer? Can you see the pointer?
Yes,
Can
sir.
you
The
Yes.
ball is big.
Ball is
Ball is
ball
big.
is right? What are you doing while you were reading?
Thinking about ball.
I was listening.
Okay, go on.
Producing the sound with correct pronunciation
Right.
and recognize the letters as well.
Okay.
Looking, watching, thinking, and producing with correct pronunciation.
Right. So what is the first letter?
G,
What is the last letter? So
G,
what is this?
S,
Is
Okay. You can
yes,
recognize the letters. You can recognize the letters, right?
yes,
So how do you say this
the,
word?
the,
L.
the,
L. Right?
ball,
How do you say this word? How do you say this word?
beach,
So how do you say this word?
pig,
So what sound does this make? This one?
b,
The ball is big.
No, no.
Ball.
Can you see the pointer?
Ball sound.
What
Ball.
sound does this make? B.
Ball.
B. Okay.
b,
So what sound this make? Okay. What sound this make? Combine,
g,
right? When you blend these sounds, what is this? How do you pronounce the word? When you
pig,
blend these three sounds,
big.
it's a big, right? This
So,
means
so what I understood is we shouldn't say "ba" to the student with a single "b."
okay.
That is only "b," like
Right,
half "ba."
right.
B.
It's not a ba. It's not a ba as in ba, right? So it's b, right?
Just we
That's what.
join the lip and blow the sound
Yes,
to produce that, and know perfectly "ba," half "ba." Let's say "b."
right. So what
And
I'm saying here is you recognize the letters, you know the sounds made by each letter, you know how the sounds blend together to create words. That's called decoding. That's called decoding. You were decoding at sentence level, but if you are given a single word, So that decoding takes place at word level, right? So that's called decoding, and that stage spreads from lesson 15 to 72, and that is particularly focused on alphabet theme, and there are altogether 58 lessons, right? uh, can you write something that I'm going to say? Do you have a pen in front of you?
Yes. Sure, sir.
Right. My name is Ram Karki.
My name is Ramkaji.
My name is Ram Karki.
My name is Ramka.
So my name is, it's okay, right?
Yes.
My name is. Have you written that?
Yes. Yes, sir.
What were you doing when you were writing?
I am listening.
Recording in
Okay,
progress.
I'm just bringing the point. Decoding and encoding. Quite well about those things, right? When you were writing something, you were giving some codes to the sounds, right? You were giving some code. I was saying my, and you were coding that sound into m and y. So that's called encoding. And when you look at m and y and read that, so that's called decoding. So what I am focusing, that comes under phonological awareness, and the students try to establish the relationship between sound and symbols, that comes under graphophonemic awareness, and they gradually start reading, they gradually start writing something, and that goes in a particular order of something that's called order of literacy skills, and they develop the language skills. In post decoding phase, in during the post decoding phase, the students start reading longer text. The students start listening, a complete sentence. They start writing words. They start writing some sentences that comes after decoding. So that's called post decoding, right? Whenever the students are able to decode, they enter into post decoding. Even if they enter into post decoding, they do decoding in reading. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that once the lesson 72 is over, then decoding goes so off. I'm not saying that. So that this means decoding skill is focused during these lessons, and once they finish doing this, they start reading something, so writing something, listening something, and they try to speak something as well. And we have followed the phonics method. I was talking about that. So you people are quite familiar with the phonics method. There are different ways, there are different methods, there are different types of phonics as well. So I'm not going to explain everything. So understanding phonics in simple terms is matching the sounds of spoken English with individual letters or group of letters. Right? When I say by, did you recognize the first sound?
By.
That's what matching the sounds of spoken English with letters. And I was during the first or second slide. I was talking about the fact that we have adopted the phonics method, right? So how does a phonic method uh, uh, takes place? Let's look. If possible, let's look at the video.
Is the letter A.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Can you see the video?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Sorry.
This is the letter A. A makes the A sound. A. Can you say A? Good. Let's do it together. A, A, A. Very good. What word begins with the letter A? A sound. Let's see some pictures that begin with A. A.
What is it? It's an apple. Apple begins with A sound. A, apple. Now say it after me. A, apple. What color is the apple? This is an ant. Ant begins with A sound. A, ant. Now say it after me. A, ant. Very good. The next picture is an animal. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 animals. Animal begins with A sound. Animal. Now say it after me. Animal. Very good. This is the last picture for the letter A sound.
Okay. So this is what I was showing you is this is the example of teaching English alphabets through phonics, and that's what we have based on in our workbook as well. If you look at the lesson, you will see these things. Okay, you will see these things, and this is the for the letter for the alphabet A, right? If you look at this instruction tells you to talk about the picture, and when you talk about the letter, right, you can see the and there, you can see apple there, you can see alligators there. Okay, but when you ask your students to 16th day, right, it's the 16th day, so you are not going to ask them Okay, talk about the picture. And that's not the way. You can use Nepali language as well. But when the students go on talking about, focus on the target words, right? And apple do this activity, right? And they say after you. Okay, you say ant. ऐ भनेको जस्तै ऐको भिडियोमा जस्तै ant. Then you go to apple, right? And when the students read this, okay, they try to establish the relationship between the letter name and the sound. Letter name is A and it makes the sound A. अब फेरि ठुलो मान्छेलाई जस्तो यो ए हो यसले A पनि बनाउँछ यसले A पनि बनाउँछ. You are not going to explain about all those things. That's not necessary. So the letter name is A, the sound is A, and the students need to establish the relationship between sound and letter. That's what phonics is. That's what teaching of English should be based on. And in this activity, they say the words by themselves. You go around the class, you help them, and then they start writing. With this, okay, the arrows happens on there. So the way of writing, the stages of writing is shown there, and you ask your students to follow these things and write these things, right? And that video is not from CDC, right? That is not from CDC. That has been taken from the website. Okay.
I cannot see some video, sir.
What?
I cannot see video.
At this time, just now, I'm not playing the video. I was playing the video earlier. What I'm saying is that video is not developed by CDC. That has been taken from YouTube. You can find lots of things there on the YouTube. And this is another lesson in post decoding phase, right? This lesson is not in foundation, not in decoding phase, but in post decoding phase. Look at the pictures and read. This is the very first task of a particular lesson, let's say, and so that's in post decoding phase. Look at the pictures and read.
Hate and soldier, knees and shoes.
This is one of the tasks, the beginning task, and in this task you are going to teach them about body parts. Can someone guess which theme does it go in? Can you remember the names of themes? Does it go with fruits and vegetables?
No, sir.
Right. Okay. It doesn't go with communication technology and marketing too, right? So it goes in the theme me and my family, me, my body parts, that can go there, right? Or wherever, but you can, if you look, so what I'm saying here is, if you look at a particular task, then you can establish the relationship of that particular task to a particular theme, right? So relationship between lesson and theme as well. You can sew the leg, right? Then the students do that. Okay. And several ways of doing this, but let's not teach the very small students as if they are as if they are the adults. Okay, look at the pictures. What do you see there? There's a boy. Can you show me the head of that boy? Can you show me his hand? Can you show me his stomach? Can you show me his leg? Yes, head, hand, stomach, leg, finish. Now let's go to sing and act. Let's not do this. So this is This is not what people expect when you teach at the lower grades. You do the same thing several times. Okay, first do it by yourself. Hate, right? Okay, that can be one way. You can ask your students to do the same thing together with you, so that they have some physical response. The lower graders want physical activity. So if you are teaching head like this, repeat after me: head, hand, stomach, leg. They may not be very much active. So the teachers should be active, the students should be active in doing some sort of task, right? They can just sew. You can sew, you will ask them to sew. So that's what the teachers are expected to do. First, you teach the meaning. In that way, you teach the meaning. Head, head. So this is head. So if you are doing that, you are teaching meaning. So you don't need to teach head mane tauko. H-E-A-D, head. And it means something like this. So you don't need to explain anything. Head. This is my head. How big is my head? Is it very big? So do you have a big head? Look at him. He has a very small head. If you teach in this way, so you are unknowingly teaching the meaning of that particular word, and your class is going to be interesting as well, because you are getting the students involved in the activities, right? And there is another task: sing and act. It's a very it's a very popular song, right? It's a very popular song that has been used in teaching English. Uh, okay, let's listen to that part only. All of you, could you please mute yourself? Okay. Let
Okay, I think there is some technical problem with Shankar sir. Let
no,
me
sir.
just, yeah, oh, okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Please go on.
Hello, everyone. Are you ready to learn?
Let me. There's an audio, sir. So I just want to want people to listen to this audio, right?
First, listen to the whole song.
Okay, I will talk about this audio later on. Ashok sir, can you listen? Did you just listen some part? I'm just checking. Yes. Okay, that's fine. And it's a song that has been put there, right? So let's listen to this, and I will explain why this is there.
आउनुहोस्, आजको पाठ एउटा गीतबाट सुरु गरौँ। पहिले पुरै गीत सुन्नुहोस् है। Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Eyes and ears and mouth and nose. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Now, let's listen again, this time with some translations. अब फेरि त्यही गीत सुनौ है। यो पटक चाहिँ म तपाईहरुलाई नेपालीमा पनि बुझाउँछु है। Head, shoulders, knees and toes. इंग्लिशमा टाउकोलाई head, काँधलाई shoulders, घुँडालाई knees र खुट्टाको औंलाहरूलाई toes भनिन्छ। Knees and toes, घुँडा, खुट्टाको औंलाहरू। Head, shoulders, knees and toes, टाउको, काँध, घुँडा, खुट्टाको औंलाहरू। Knees and toes, घुँडा, खुट्टाको औंलाहरू। eyes and ears and mouth and nose. English ma, आँखालाई eyes, कानलाई.
Okay, that's all about the audio. I'm not going to play this. So let me tell you about this audio. CDC and British Council have worked together and have developed 43 radio lessons that are suitable for the students of grade 1-3, right? This is just one part of that audio. Means I'm not saying, please do not understand like this. The whole audio is about the song. No. So that audio starts with a song, with the body parts. And after that, there are other activities. There are sounds work, there are question answer work, there are reading works, right? So I'm just saying that we have developed 43 audio lessons that are suitable for grades 1-3, and they are our lessons. They are mapped to our curriculum, right? So as a developer, I say that so they are very good. So I don't know whether what your comment is. So please do download those things. Do use in your class. Do use with your students. I think they work. I think they work. I think they develop your students. So listening skill, speaking skill, reading skill, and writing skill as well. And in this audio, so the song has been used 4 times. For the first, line by line, and waits for the students to repeat together. And for the last time, the students sing themselves, right? So when we use songs, we should think of using those songs in different ways for more than once. That's what I'm saying. So this is one of the lessons in grade 2. It's lesson 1, and so I think that you know the theme, me and my family, right? What do you see in the picture? Look at this. What do you see in the picture?
Family members along with the house.
Someone's family member.
Okay. Go on. Is that all?
Some animals also, sir.
Okay. That's okay.
Cat and dog.
Right.
Clean environment, pet animals.
Me
and my family.
Right.
House.
There is a house.
A village.
Surroundings, whole surroundings.
About the family.
That's okay.
There are doors and windows.
How do we use this lesson to our grade 2 students?
Our family.
Okay, that's fine. It's on the theme, me and my family. So let me okay. Do an activity. Okay, what do you say in the picture?
Virendra.
यो चित्रमा तिमीहरु के देख्छौ? You got this? Okay. Can you see a tree? Where's the tree? So how is the tree? Rato, hariyo, green, right? Yes. Can you see a house? Yeah. There's a house, right? Is it a big house? So can you look at these people? Who is the oldest? Hazurbaku, this one. How do you say that in English? Go on. Right, grandfather. And what about this woman? Who is she? Who is she? Right, grandmother. Right. How do you say that in Nepali? Okay, you will go on doing like this. You spend 15 or 20 minutes in talking about the picture, right? The students of grade 2 do not give the answer like you people gave earlier, right? So it shows a surrounding, it shows a family member, it shows an environment. It's a picture of a family. There are some animals. They do not say that, right? let the students say, build up on what they say, right? Build up on what they know, and then move on, right? Right? So what do you see there? Can you see? Koi bole na bhane ni. Can you see a tree? Rukh. Where? Yeah, good. Is the tree green or red? Right? You go on building up their skill, right? And you ask, what do you say in the picture? Nobody says. Let's say, and then you explain. Can't you see here a house? Can you see here a family members? Can you see here some trees? Can you see a mountain? You people are not doing anything. So let me explain this. You go on explaining something, and you move on to the next task. That doesn't work. Build up on the students' knowledge or on the students' skill. This is the lesson from grade 3. Grade 3. And which theme is it related to? Can you guess? Okay, me and my family, maybe me and my family. Yes, me and my family. It goes with my daily life as well. But if you talk about my daily life as a student, this does not happen in the student's life. So this is more related to me and my family. If you are teaching this to grade 3 students, how do you start? Okay, how do you start? Can somebody say? There are several ways, but can somebody suggest a very useful way of starting this lesson to your students?
We can start with some pre-reading questions, sir.
Okay.
What do you see in the picture?
Right.
Or what is the man doing in the picture, like this?
Okay. If the students remain silent in the question, what do we see in the picture? What do we say?
I will explain the picture by saying there are some oxen. There is.
Okay, you go on explaining. You go on explaining, or you do something else.
We can ask yes no question to them.
Choices to them.
See a man there.
Right. Yes.
Can you see a woman there?
Is a man farmer?
So, is this a man or a woman? Right? Is this a man or a woman? Then
father is going to plugging.
Okay, that's fine.
Mother.
That's fine, ma'am. That's fine. Thank you. So
what
I'm
in
saying
my
here
case,
is,
I would like to tell a story based on this picture, a very short story.
For example,
based on the picture.
For example,
sir. Maybe this person is my father or uncle. When I was in a village, we used to do these things, and my mother was there, who used to do household work, whereas the father used to plow in the field, and so
that's
on.
fine.
Contextualizing the lesson into real life situation.
That's fine.
Or
there are several ways.
We can ask them, what does your father do, or does your father plow in the field? So we can ask.
Yes, there are several ways, but what I am requesting you here is, let the students start. Okay, let the students start. What do you say in the picture? Let me tell you this, and then start reading. Ram Karki is a farmer in a small village near in Kathmandu. What is Ram Karki? Right? So where does he live? Right? So this is what the reading is. Now do the question answer. You do not do that. You do not do that. I'm not saying that you people do like this. So that is not the expectation. Let the students start either speaking or reading or doing something else. So our job is just to build up on the students' knowledge and skill, right? And how do you teach this reading, sir? Can somebody say? Once you finish talking about the picture, what's your first task?
Who is plugging?
The students finish talking about the picture. Let's say now you are entering into reading task. So how do you start
Drilling.
Drilling, sir.
For example,
It's like,
how do you say that? So I'm going to read out the text. So
Okay.
repeat after me. Do you do that activity?
Yes, sir.
Are you saying that?
Yes, sir.
This is
Okay.
grade 3. In my opinion, in grade 3, after we do some warm-up activities and we discuss about the picture and so on, we set the task, very simple task. What is the man doing,
Or who can ask
yes.
the student
And
to
then
give the topic.
after setting the task, we let them read in their group, and then they will solve the problem, and we would guide them roaming in the class.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. But once you finish talking about the picture, then you want to relate that picture to the reading text, right? Then you can ask the question like this: do you know the name of this man? What is his name? Do you know the name of this woman? What is her name? Can you read? Can you read just the first two lines and find out the names of these people? Then they read. Ram Karki is a farmer in a small village, Bimal. Yeah, Ram Karki and Bimala. And then
Before
you give them another task. There are lots
excuse
of
me.
ways. There are lots of ways of doing that. And the last question. These are the comprehension questions. So how do you how do you treat with these comprehension questions? Can somebody tell me? My question is, do you give this as homework once you finish reading?
No, first of all, they discuss this. After we discuss about the picture, and then secondly, read the first and second line and find out the name of the person and the lady and so on. Then in the third or fourth stage, we set this question and let the student read again, and then they discuss in their group, and then they produce the answer, and we discuss above the answer they produce. Then that can be set as homework.
Okay, let me cut it short. The comprehension question shouldn't come as post-reading activity. That's my point. That's my point. Our reading सक्यो लु यो अब homework गरेर ल्याए. So do the question answer. So do not give the task in such a way that that's a very different thing from reading comprehension, right? So the questions or the tasks given there should come as while reading activity, right? You where does Ram Karki live? Read the question. Do you understand the meaning of that question? Where do you live? I live in Falano, right? Where does she live? She lives in Kathmandu. So where does Ram Karki live? Can you look at the text and find out the answer? In a small village near Kathmandu. Yes, in a small village, in a small village in Kathmandu, right? Who does he live with? Can you find out?
We remind you about
I live.
the time
Yes, sir.
constraint.
Okay, that's
You have
fine.
10-minute time.
I have 10 minutes, right?
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Who does he live with? Where do you live with? I live with my parents. I have small children. Who do you live with? You live with your parents. Can you find out who does Ram Karki live with in the text? What I'm saying here is treat the questions as if they are the while reading task, not as if they are the post reading task. Once the reading is over, then your students start doing writing the answers. It's not reading. It's not reading. That becomes general knowledge for me, right? And that becomes a recall. Recall. What did they study? Ram Karki was living in Kathmandu. Okay, so that's not the way. Treat them as while reading task. This is all about the guiding principles. Ample exposure. Give them give them exposure to English and very simple English. Okay. Do not say that I would like all of you to open your book and remain silent. What do you want your students to do? Open your book. You just say, open your book, and you do a demo with the book, right? You do a demo with book. So you have book with you, and when you are giving the instruction, so you say that open your book. You demonstrate, right? You demonstrate. All the students may not understand what open means, so do not say I would like all of you to open your book. So they do not understand that sort of language. Use simple language so that they will get the exposure. Give them chance to speak. Practice, practice, practice. Okay, get them practice a lot, and use language supportive approach. One of the technique of using language supportive approach is using Nepali language or using the students' native language, right? I'm not saying that using Nepali language all the time. Sometimes you can use Nepali language to help them understand, right? I'm not saying that book mane kitab, book like kitab bhanera पढाउने. I'm not saying that. तर तपाईले कहिलेकाहीँ instruction दिनुभयो भने, while you are giving the instruction, then either you do a demo if it's possible, they will be able to understand what that means. And त्यो अप्ठ्यारो instruction छ भने you can just translate that, and they will develop their habit to understand you, right? This slide talks about that.
Sir, may I ask one question? You have mentioned ample exposure. So ample exposure from teacher side or something else? Ample exposures.
Okay.
Teacher should be the sources for this, or
the most plausible source that the students can get exposure to English is the teacher, right? There are other ways too. They can listen to the song, they can listen to the radio news or whatever, or they can listen to their parents. But as a teacher, you are the primary source of English language exposure to your small students. I'm not saying that there are not other sources, right? I got your point. Things that you should put in your mind: remedial teaching, great teaching, linking prior knowledge of students, building up, right? Minimum learning. So these are what you need to consider about the consider while teaching English. Sometimes you can use outdoor activities, fun activities, authentic dictionary, give them opportunities. And there comes the point: physical response. Physical response, you must all of you, I know that you all understand TPR, total physical response. Can somebody explain this in a very short form? For example, how do you what do you do during TPR in your class? How do you use that?
So while speaking, a teacher has to also help with gesture, posture to show the same image, so that or you can also request a student to follow the instruction, and then while reading or while singing, we can also have you can dance or make a student dance. That would be the total physical response.
Okay.
It's moving the body back.
Right, sir. Instead of saying stand up, okay, instead of teaching the meaning of the phrase like stand up भनेको उठ्ने, बसिरहेको ठाउँबाट उठ्नेलाई stand up भन्छ. Did you understand? Yes. And the opposite is sit down. त्यो भनेको उठिरहेको ठाउँबाट बस्ने. Instead of explaining all those things in that way, you can use the gesture. You can ask them to get involved in the physical activity. Stand up, please.
And in the same time, teacher has to also utter the word, because without uttering the word, it will be very difficult to.
Yeah.
So
I'm saying
uttering and acting, speaking and acting
stand up,
together.
please. Good. Now sit down. Okay. You are using the gesture so that the students understand what you mean, the meaning of that particular phrase. And if you get them involved in the task, like standing up and sitting down, they get chance to get involved in physical activities. And you know that small children are very, very interested in doing physical activities. And using MPF or MFP, I think all of you know that. So while teaching vocabulary, start from meaning. So it's not form and pronunciation that we start with. We should always start with meaning while teaching vocabulary, because you know that meaningless sound has no meaning. Okay, meaningless sound has no meaning. So start with meaning. If you are teaching a word ball pen, so it's a ball pen, right? Can you see? It's a ball pen, right? So it's another ball pen, right? Look at this. It's also a ball pen. Right? It's my ball pen. It's her ball pen. It's their ball pen. You are demonstrating the meaning of the word ball pen. Means you are teaching meaning. And then you come to pronunciation. How do you say this? How do you say this? Ball pen, right? Ball pen, right? Can you repeat after me? Okay, you do drilling. Then you focus on pronunciation. How do you write this? How do you write the word ball pen? So let me write. You go to the blackboard, you pronounce the word, and then you write ball pen. You taught meaning, you demonstrated the meaning, and you taught pronunciation, and then finally you went to form, right? That's what people seem convincing while teaching vocabulary. Start with meaning. After meaning, you can do pronunciation or form, but start with meaning. Means either follow EMPF or EMFP approach. That's what people sound convincing in teaching vocabulary, right? Use gradual release model. I do first means you do a demonstration. You ask your students to do with you. We do. And then finally, you ask your students do something. You do. So that is I do, we do, and you do sequence. In the audio that you heard, the song, right? Do you remember the song? The first the teacher sang, that was I do. Then the teacher asked the students to sing with her, that is we do. And finally the teacher asked the students to sing by themselves, that's you do. That's the sequence to be followed, right? So these are some. Okay, there are some resources: word will and sentence will, onset and rhyme. That's very frequent in grade one, right? So for teaching onset and rhyme, it's a very good resource. It's a very good resource. We call it word wheel, sentence wheel, and you can go to the YouTube to know how you make these things, right? Can be the flashcards. They are there in the workbook. You can just treat them as a flashcard. Treat the whole book as a flashcard, right? So if you do not have chance to make flashcards, or if you do not have resources to buy flashcards, it can work. Can be a good resource. Flashcards, match stick figures can be a good resource. Once you draw these in a piece of paper, you can use it as many times as you like. There are lots of pictures you can download, or you can make, or you can print, or finally, if you do not do anything, use the textbook pictures. Okay, and there are audio and video resources on different websites. A very useful website can be Learn English Kids. So that's a very useful website for the students of lower grades. And you are not going to show them the video. You will watch the video and you will follow the procedure in your class. That's what you can use them for. And snake and ladder, it can be used with any type of activity. For example, in giving instruction, or in answering questions, or any type of activity, can be a resource. You can just draw a snake and ladder game like this, and you will need a dice. You ask them to learn the language with fun, right? That's all, sir. Thank you. That's all from my side.
So thank you, Shankar sir, for your wonderful presentation. So in your presentation, we just got to learn a lot of things about how we can just integrate all the lessons on the basis of themes. You just presented how phonemic awareness lessons and graphophonemic awareness lessons are also integrated in the course. And mainly, you just shared with us the very good techniques for effective presentation of English lessons in the classroom. So I would like to thank you very much. Now we just would like to proceed ahead for the question answer discussion. And I request Sangam sir for the questions. If there are questions, if all the participants, if you have any questions, you can just put in the chat box and Sangam sir will be forwarding the questions. Sangam sir.
Okay, thank you, Kishore sir. Thank you very much, everyone. I don't want to spend much time. So here are some of the questions that I have collected during the period of sessions. Okay, while the session was going on,
And
some of the
Sangam
participants
sir,
were
excuse
raising
me.
the... Yes, sir.
Okay, so I request all the participants to fill out the attendance form. I have just put in the chat box. Please don't miss it.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Now, here are some of the questions, some of the queries raised by some of the participants. And first of all, many of the participants have expressed their sincere thanks for wonderful presentation. So thank you, Shankar sir, for your wonderful presentation. Everyone, I believe everyone enjoyed the session. Now, some of the questions, just like some of the participants have raised question upon the credit hour. They have some kind of confusion regarding credit hour. Sir, would you please clarify the concept of credit hour? So we have to take this much credit hour throughout the year, which what they need some kind of clarification regarding credit hour, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay. Grade 1-3 curriculum in total has 26 credit hours. That 26 credit hours have been divided have been distributed for different subjects. Let's say 5 subjects. English has 4 credit hours. Forget about everything. Okay, if you have difficulty in remembering such things, just forget about everything and keep in your mind that you should teach English to the student. You should teach English for 128 hours for the students of grade 1, 2 and 3, right? And if you want to make calculation, let's say we have 4 credit hours for English. 1 credit hour for CDC means 32 hours of teaching or 32 working hours. Okay, in foreign universities they have different rule. In some American university, 1 credit means 29 hours. In British universities, 1 credit means sometimes 39 hours. But for Nepal, in school education for CDC, 1 credit means 32 working hours. And if you say that your English has 4 credit hours, means you have to multiply 4 by 32 and it becomes 128 hours. Means you have to teach English to the students of grade 1 for 128 hours. In case of grade 4, in case of grade 5, in case of grade 9 and 10, it may be different. You just think that 1 credit is equal to 32 hours. That's all, sir.
Okay, thank you. I hope now they are clear about this. Now, one participant was raising question. What is the full marks in grade 1, 2, 3? Total full marks. So one participant was raising this question.
Okay. Actually, we have dropped using formal written examination in lower grades, right? In grade 4 and 5, there is the provision of formal written examination as well that carries 50% weightage, right? And if you talk about grades 1, 3, there's no provision of using formal written examination. There's no provision of formal written examination means there's no full marks for examination, right? Even if you do formal examination, that's okay, but do not use that formal examination to promote the students to upper grades. For class promotion, you should be based on the record of the students' performance throughout the year. Means you have the system of continuously assessing your students, right? And um, even if you do written examination, that's okay. What I'm saying here is, I'm not saying that you are not allowed to take written examination. You can administer the written examination to check the students, to check the students learning. And if you do that, you can put full marks of full marks of any, let's say you can give 100 full marks, you can give 200 full marks, you can give 50 full marks. Forget about full marks. Do not worry about full marks. Full marks is 100, let's say. Okay, full marks is 50, let's say. Do not worry about those things. Forget about full marks. In formal examination, the examination board gives full marks. That's okay. They have given there in the model questions, and 100 marks is in practice, right?
I think they are clear about this.
In case of grade 1, 3,
So here is another
right, sir.
question. Many of the participants have raised this question. The question is, there are so many songs and chants which are given there in the course, in the book, and many of the students are, many of the teachers are unaware of that the way of chanting them or the way of singing them. So has CDC made any audio or video of it, so to support chanting them and singing them? There is the question. Or is the audio or video available?
Right,
so this is the
Thank
question
you.
asked by many of the participants.
And there are two answers for this. One is, we have 43 audio lessons developed in collaboration with British Council, and there are some songs there in those radio lessons. Every radio lesson starts with a song, so they are there. You can check and use them. That is one option. Another option is, you can develop your own tune and can sing the song to your students, right? And another option is, we have given the links of those songs and videos in our teacher's guide, so that you can visit, or you can just click on the link and see the song on the YouTube or see the song on the Google. That's all.
I think that's clear. I think if the link is available and then source is available,
in teacher's guide, the link is available there, right, sir?
So another one, this CDC has only talked of the courses of class 1, 2, 3, but these days the students start at the age of 3, and then they study for 1 year or 2 years before class 1 starts, and they have been learning many things before class 1 starts. Has the CDC thought of the course for them before class 1? This question has also been asked.
Okay. Yes, the students come to grade 1 after spending at least 1 year in pre-primary education, right? That's okay. And in some cases, the students get admission in grade 1 after 2 or 3 years. That's okay too. We should look at the basic level people, right? So the course is very, very basic one, right? Is very, very basic one. And if you know that your students knows the thing that you are going to teach in a particular lesson, you can just build up the activities based on that activity, and you can carry out. The base should be that, but it doesn't mean that you have to teach this thing, not other thing, not that thing. So there's no bar like that. There's no bar like that. But make sure that your students has the knowledge has knowledge and skills on that particular content. Many people are complaining that CDC has provisioned 58 lessons for alphabets, and they say that the students, once they come to grade 1, they know everything given in the alphabets lesson. If that is perfectly correct, it's okay. If that is not perfectly correct, follow the procedure and teach them, right? Students will be able to you can find the students who can write from A to Z, who can read from A to Z. Do they actually pronounce the words that those letters contain? Do they know the phonics? Do they know the sounds made by those things? So that's what the teachers need to do. Yes, I agree, but make sure that the students know everything given in that lesson. If they know everything given in that lesson, you can just give another activity similar to that. Do not teach arrow, do not teach ant, teach other words instead of those in the alphabet lesson A. Sir, that's
okay. Okay, thank you, sir. One of the participants asked the question, if there is no internet access, what to do? I think you have answered for that also. The teachers can generate their own tune,
Yes.
the own rhyme, rhythm, and then their own music also. They can just generate. So that is, I think that is the answer. I hope. I guess one question. Almost we are towards the end of the session. Here, one question has been asked. So. What is the number of the books prescribed for grade 1, 3? So in some of the schools, even 12, 13 books are also prescribed, of which the students are compelled to buy. So has or does CDC monitor these all things? So regarding the prescription of the number of books. So this is the question asked.
I do not have any answer to this question. Formally speaking, there should be 5 subjects in grade 1, 2, 3. Right? English, Nepali, mathematics, Serofero for science, health, physical, and arts, and 1 local subject. Right? And I know that many schools are compelling the parents to buy many more books. Right? CDC has prescribed 5 books, but they are not following the government rules. And there are some monitoring agencies as well. They are also doing some sort of monitoring. It's similar to the government. It's similar to the governance system, right? There's the system, but people do not follow that. So what should we do? So I have no comment on those things, but the number of prescribed books is 5 for grades 1, 2, 3. Learning is priority.
Okay, thank you, sir. I think these are the questions that have been raised. I tried my best to incorporate all of the questions raised here in chat box, sir. And some of the students, some of the participants were asking about the teacher's guide. Where is it accessible? Where can it be found?
Okay, if you go to the CDC website, click on the publication, you will find curriculum, textbook, teacher's guide, audio visual resources, and click on teacher's guide. It may take you to another link. Just close that link and go back to the site, and then you can look at the list of the teacher's guide there, and you can see the grades. Grade 1 is already available there in the website, but grade 2 and 3 they are still under process. They will come soon. And if you go to the audio visual section, then click the audio visual sections. There are 43 audio lessons, and I think even if even if you do not teach the whole textbook, if you use those 43 audios, I think the students will be able to develop a good amount of language skill. They are very useful. I'm not saying that they are useful because they are developed by CDC people. They are not actually developed by CDC people. They are developed by native speakers, British Council people, and that was not developed by British Council Nepal. That was developed by British Council Global Office, and they have been amended as per our context and have been put there together with the book. Use the audio lessons. They are very, very useful.
Okay,
thank you, sir.
Do you have any
Yes,
other
sir.
questions?
So some of the participants are saying, sir, there is no teacher's guide of class 8, grade 8 available there. They are saying.
Okay, he has already given the answer to this question, right?
Yes.
Thank you, Sangam sir.
Right.
And thank you, Shankar sir, for your answers to the questions raised by many participants. And now I request Rameshwar Thakur sir for the very brief summary of the session and express the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Kishore sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm good morning. It gives me an immense pleasure and privilege to deliver the vote of thanks to all dignitaries, experts, academicians, and ELT practitioners with infinite intelligence and miraculous working power assembled here to enjoy the pious elixir of this rapturous insights. Yes, my spilling hope expects that this very first day series of NELTA BAGMATI virtual event must try to quench your thirst for taking golden mine of academia and intelligentsia. And besides this, vulcanize your within what I believe for eternal search for radiance and illuminations about integrated curriculum 1 to 3, basically with focus on English. First and foremost, let me move forward. I, on the behalf of NELTA BAGMATI, would like to thank the chief guest, Mrs. Motikala Subadewan, the respected chair, NELTA Center, for her precious time from her busy schedule in honoring and gracing this webinar with her insightful, inspirational remarks and ice-breaking intuitions. I also take this occurrence to thank all the great personalities of NELTA Central Committee for always inspiring, energizing, and guiding us towards the peak of success and excellence. I also owe special gratitude to NELTA province chairs and NELTA branch chairs for their incessant support in joining hands and hands to build up a strong foundation for English teachers across the country and abroad. Likewise, my heartfelt thanks also goes to Mr. Shankar Adhikari for his unstinted and insightful facilitations on teaching English based on themes for primary level teachers, and this can be quite useful and helpful for other teachers as well. Last but not the least, my sincerest gratitude goes to all the participants for eagerly and earnestly showing acute interest and vibrant participation in contributing this program. Once again, thank you very much for making this event a grand success in the days to come. Yes, stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you. Yeah, Kishore sir.
Sir, you are muted, sir. Kishore sir.
Okay, so thank you, Rameswar sir. Now I would like to, let's say, I would like to thank Shankar Adhikari sir for his wonderful presentation, and I would also appreciate his presence here. And I would, okay, Shankar sir, this is the certificate for your contribution. Your simply, I would like to inform you about the next session. I simply want to query program. This is yoga and meditation for teachers' well-being, and you can just get the meeting ID and password here. And this is on 2nd round 2078. And our next series will be also continuing, and this is the banner that we would like to show you for the next series on Shravan 2. And because of the training, because of the yoga meditation, let's say session organized by NELTA, we need to change the time of the presentation. So we'll be letting you know about the time of the second presentation or second series by Vishwaraj Joshi, is mainly for the secondary level teachers. And the time can be in the evening time. Let's say we can start it at 4 o'clock, and we'll be letting you know about the time through via the email. We'll be sending you the email. Okay. So thank you for that. And now last, Ganesh Magai, the NELTA BAGMATI President Ganesh Prasad Magai sir, for wrapping up the session. Yes, Ganesh sir, over to you. Hello. Okay, Ganesh sir, are you there? Yes. Okay, okay, Ganesh sir is out, right? Now I request Rameshwar Thakur sir to formally, close this very session in absence of Ganesh sir.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, I would like to express heartfelt actually gratitude to all of the participants and all over here. So it's we are also running out of time, and so I formally conclude this session with the welcome to the next series, which is going to take place on coming Sunday. So let me again conclude this session again. Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you all. Thank you very much.